Hello, Open Table family from all around the world. We're here again in front of your screen with another episode of the Open Table. And as always, I am here with my ladies. This is
Osas.
and
Okay.
and my name is Izo. So the next question I want to ask is this. So we've established that 5 years, you start to introduce it gradually to your kid. Now, by the time we scale up to when the child is older, you're not just teaching them about private parts now. You're teaching them about the fact that there are two genders and this and that and all the other conversations that come with it. Whose job is it as a parent to bring up that conversation? Is it the father?
The birds and the bees.
Or the mother? I will start with you.
For me, I'm a boy's mom. So I think it should be more of the daddy's job, like their father's job.
Because they are boys?
Yeah, because they are boy. I don't, at this stage now, my children can be beaten and I can go in. Like, I made jest of them at times. I remember those times I scrub your body, scrub everything, but now they don't want me in.
You have to give them privacy.
Yeah, I have to give them privacy. So, like, okay, I like teaching them about how to personal hygiene, how to shave yourself and things like that. I couldn't, like, the day I was asking questions like, do you have hair in those places? Like, they were like the look on their face. So I left that to their dad. I told him, though it was, do we have? Yeah, we have to. I don't want them to learn from an outsider. Like, let's do that. I remember growing up as an adolescent, my grandma, my mom taught me how to take care of yourself, especially as a woman when you're on your period and things like that. Like, when you need to keep yourself clean so that you don't have body odor and things like that.
Yeah.
So I want to pass that on to my children too. Like, I don't want them to walk past you and you are like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Teenagers at times they start having this, so you just need to let them know the kind of the kind of bath you have now would be different from the one you were having made when you were 6 or 10 years. Yeah. So things like that. I think for me as a boy mom, I want my husband to
handle that aspect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go into the bathroom with them like you are their father. You don't shy away from that.
Osas, what's your...
For me, okay, well, I have both genders as kids and male and female. And I think any of the couple, any of the parents can handle it, but there's a degree to what extent.
Yeah.
Now, when I was like my daughter, I, of course, told her what it means to have her periods and stuff like that. So I introduced that because that's how my mom introduced it to me too. I remember my mom taking me into the room with my twin sister and trying to tell us, I think that year when we were growing up, I started my period at about the age of 13. Maybe I was a little bloomer. I know some of my friends that started at 11 or 12. But I remember starting mine at 13 and my sister started before me. And my mom, she had started before. My mom was like, let me train you and show you how it's done. And she introduced her into using the sanitary pad and all that. And then she realized that, okay, I think I started a few months after her. And she was like, oh, I had not even started, but she called me in. I was asking, have you Okay, no. Okay, but this is what you need to do. This is how you change it and all that. And that was a good education, even though I was feeling shy and everything, self-confident, conscious at that time. Yeah. Now, when it came to my daughter, I did the same thing, I think before she started, I actually told her about how to prepare for it, what to do, how to use it and all that. So for that, I don't expect my husband or my spouse to do that aspect of it. And then when it comes to talking more about real intercourse, kind of a relationship, I had to talk to her particularly at a time. And maybe not going the whole 9 years. I don't think I've ever gone, but right now I think I've tried to enlighten more about it, the pros and the cons and why it's, in my opinion, morally wrong and what you shouldn't do and what you should do and how you should keep yourself and maintain yourself and whatever it is, don't fall to pressure. And I speak all that to them. So I think I've done my bit when it comes to that. When it comes to the boys, there's an extent to which I talk to them. I talk to them about hygiene, particularly shaving. If I introduce them to shaving their armpit and, wherever they need to shave to keep themselves clean, because there is this hormone that young teenagers exude. And you have to be on top of them to keep that hygiene so that they are conscious of it and try to overcome it. And yeah, that works. Then when it comes to the real detail about relations with the opposite sex and all that, it's little difficult for me to speak to them about it, because I feel I'm watching this too anyway. But I feel to an extent a man will be in a better position to explain, because you understand how your body works, you understand how it looks like, you understand how the pressure you might be going through and how they would to help them overcome it. I might just be able to say what I just say is, please be careful, don't touch any girl. Don't touch any girl. Because if you do this, if you go, into anything, just be friends. Don't go this one. Don't do this, or that kind of a thing. Maybe I coin it by saying, don't have a girlfriend. Or if you have a girlfriend, don't sleep. That's the word I will use, and that will be, don't sleep together. Just keep yourself away. And I buffer it with a lot of spiritual words, Christian teachings, so that to boost their moral strength and moral values.
Yeah.
And I think I've done my bit when I do that, and I leave the rest to God.
Exactly. So I think when it comes to the identification of private parts, as we call it, the parent that has a similar gender, just like you guys said, should do because you can only speak to what you know.
Yeah.
So let the mother talk to the daughter, let the father talk to the sons. But when it comes to interrelationship between both sexes, I think the onus falls on both parents.
Yeah, I agree.
To do the education, because you as the mother knows what a girl goes through, so you can speak from that angle to say, okay, you're a boy, you're going to meet girls. Girls can be, especially when you get to upper teenage years, girls can be flirty without wanting something. So if maybe a girl is always talking to you, touching you,
hanging around,
doesn't mean she wants you to sleep with her. So you have to understand that when a girl says no means no, things like that. So you are coming from the place of, I'm a girl, you're a guy. I'm telling you, girls can give mixed signals, but this is what it means. And then the fathers should also talk to their daughters to know that guys can have smooth tongue.
It doesn't mean that.
It doesn't mean that they really love you. So if a guy comes and tells you you're the best thing that has happened to this world, he's after something. So that's the balance I think should be there. And I also feel that especially for us immigrant parents, we should create an environment where the child is free to speak, because we all grew up in I would say a conservative setting where you can't talk freely with your parents. So you talk with your sisters or your brothers, or you talk with your friends. But if this is a different climb where if you don't create that environment where the child can easily come to you from the jump and say, oh, I'm crushing on this guy. That's my view. So I think when it comes to the pointing of whatever, when it comes to interrelationship, it should be both parents. Yeah. But I also think that it should, in as much as I say it should be both parents, it should be the parents that is more friendly with the child. Because because every house has it. There's between the mom and the dad, either the mom is the one that is the kid's buddy that they talk freely, easily with, or the dad is. So whoever is the body that they can really confide in, that should be the person. That should be the one that should be like the confidant that they tell everything. And then they can, as a parent, look through it and know what's the best way to deal with it.
Yeah, I agree with you, because there's always one of the parents that the children might be closer to than the other. And parents generally should actually leave an open door for the kids to be able to reach out to them and talk to them openly about some things. Sometimes it could be
and try not to react.
They try to be shy and they might be shy in the beginning and everything, but once you are able to open and you are free to talk to yeah, they'll be able to reach out to you and talk. Maybe I might not put myself in that kind of situation. I know I'm a little bit tougher. And while I are talking, when I am like harsh on you, my children tend to step back. So my husband is very accessible. They really easily reach out to my husband. My daughter, even my daughters, my sons, they reach out to my husband. He's more patient to listen to all their, oh, I'm doing this and this is happening and all that. Even when, so they are more patient. And now I'm trying to learn the act of asking them so that they can try and confide in me. I hope I've not lost that opportunity, but I try to be more, into their business. But my husband has all the time not all the time because he has the time, but he's more patient. He's a good listener.
Yeah.
So he listens to them. He will see them banter and be sharing. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? Okay, bring me the no and all that, So it's actually good for parents to listen because it makes the kid easily open. But worry about the situation where you have single parents, whether the father is a single parent due to whatever reason, divorce or separation or even death of the one spouse, or maybe the mother. So what will you do? Where will you get a father that speaks to the son? What should the parents do?
So I still know a very senior friend of mine that he grew up with a single mom. And I remember I had this conversation with him one time, and he said, even though my mom is a single mom, she made sure that there was a male figure that was from family that kind of entered that role. Yes, because as a woman, you can only speak about things that concern women.
Not only, some people do have a lot of knowledge.
Yes, you have, but you have head knowledge, not experience. You're speaking from head knowledge because you've only lived as a woman.
But men can give you experience of go and try and test yourself.
But it's head knowledge. Whatever you are dishing out is head knowledge. It's not experience knowledge. That's the way I see it. So even though the single mother, and I praise all the single mothers out there,
they're doing wonderful jobs. And fathers, you're doing
single mother. Thank you. You always balance this off. So single mothers, single fathers, you're doing the work of both parents. So kudos to you. But again, when it comes to certain experiences, unless you have walked in that shoe, you might not be able to speak from a place of experience. You're speaking with head knowledge. So my advice would be, if there is a reasonable male figure from the family of your husband or wherever that can mentor for the child, that would be the way I would suggest that, instead of carrying all the burden, because it will be overwhelming for anyone.
That's a good suggestion, though. I actually agree. However, there are some situations where even you don't have male figure around, you don't have anybody to fall back to play that role or to fit in that shoes, and you don't want to keep disturbing somebody because it's not I sit down, I train you, I tell you everything in one day. It's a process. So if you don't have such, some women or some men who are single and they have to parent that child alone, they are doing a fantastic job in telling the person, because it's not everything you have experience about, but that doesn't mean that you can still teach it. You can still teach it and you can still explain the situation, but you have life experiences, you have stories you can talk to,
lean on.
And share experience. I'm praying to God that child actually listens and follows your advice, right? So, and even if you are both parents are even in the same house, monitoring that child 100% is still to pray to God that child listens and does not succumb to peer pressure, negative peer pressure, because there's a lot of it out there pressuring. The voice of the outside is even louder than the voice of the parent or the family. So I don't want to think that a single mother or a single father cannot mentor the child alone, even though it's still, if you have an alternative opposite male or female mentor, fantastic. They will also lend in their voices. Then that's also a good one.
So let me ask, because we talked about the parents, and we know that as kids, they learn both from home and outside home. So where else can kids get this kind of education? Do you subscribe to church, religious houses, the mosque, or any other societies that can help train in that regard. Do you subscribe to that?
Yeah, I think I subscribe to that because at times, especially nowadays, like the kind of kids we're raising, we shouldn't leave it to our power alone, right? We will try, as parents, will try our best. The school would also teach them, but maybe coming from the place of your place of God, your belief.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to back that up with whatever teachings you are doing. Now, you know, at times when there's fear of God, let me say, sorry, it might be, we are just talking, putting, adding some bit of religious talks to this, but whatever you believe in anyway, let that be a kind of support to whatever teachings you are teaching them. As parents, we try our best, but overall, we still leave everything to God. And when a child has that fear of God, then that might be a way to guide them.
Guide that principle.
Yeah.
I agree because before in the past, a lot of churches, I don't know about mosque, but a lot of churches, I would say from my own experience, used to shy away from teaching, things like this, mentoring our youth when it comes to religion. They say it in a way, but they come through the wrong route, by the wrong route of talking about sin, condemning, and hitting it like, without making it a little bit educational, speaking about it. But I think nowadays there's a little bit of awakening and there's a little bit of enlightenment in some places, in some religious houses and churches that I know of, where they now see it more as real educating the young people, educating their teenagers, their children and young youths about what sex education is about. So as saying it, what they should do, what they should avoid, especially when it comes to moral values. And it's a good additional strength and fortress for these young ones to be able to like support themselves. Because sometimes when you just tell them, oh, don't do this, because our beliefs is that you should abstain and keep yourself safe. Some people believe that you can do it even from age 14 or 15. That's theirs. But my belief is keep yourself together, keep yourself safe, abstain till you are married.
Right.
That's my own personal belief. And I want to believe that most people that I know, that's what they also subscribe to. So if you are supporting and abstaining and keeping yourself till you are married, or probably you're old enough and you want to try it out, but not like we're talking about children now, from like less than 20 years or 21 years. I won't subscribe to 21 years doing anything. So the religious house or the religious body is also a further fortress to support and give you good reasons why you should fortify yourself against peer pressure in sexual relations.
So my last question will be this. So what is the role of social media, the internet, in all of this? I see both of you bringing your head down. So because again, we are in a time where there is information explosion. So you are busy teaching your child based on your religious belief, based on your own orientation about how these things, moral values, how these things will go. But then there's social media. There's constant TV streaming. There are shows that are now so bold. I remember, and so this is in a funny way. I remember when we're growing up back home, if they're showing a movie that has some explicit sexual scenes in it, your parents will shout on you, close your eyes, or change that station. Or even the TV station will put stay tuned, please, and they'll block it out. But these days you have movies that have gone beyond that.
Almost
X-rated. You are watching it and you're like, okay, they wouldn't go there, and then they go there. So as the parent, how do you deal with all of this in sex education?
Okay, should I?
Yes.
I know the damages that social media does is more than, I won't say it's more than the advantages for a child. Like, using having access to social media. We all know they get overexposed beyond their age. We try our best to control what they see. We try our best to ensure that there's always limitation. But like I say, we always keep talking to them. We definitely social media, that we are in that era. We can't stop it. We can't stop what people push out just to gain traffic. People just push out anything just to gain traffic and maybe make money. disregarding the damages that is causing on people watching. But as parents, all we do is keep talking to them. Yeah, you never can stop talking. At every opportunity you have, keep talking to them. And at times, sneak into their social media account, see what they are doing.
Yeah,
control them. Time they least expect. See, even if it was follow them on social media, follow mommy or daddy. Yeah, but at times, and at the same time, I don't want to maybe now create that scenario of choking the child and putting things that are not even in their mind. Like, at times when you're
So if you're watching a movie with your kids and there's a kissing scene on it, do you tell them to close their eyes?
Before they know, they will close their eyes. That was when they were like 10 years or lower. But now you turn on. I don't watch movie. I've not seen any movie in this. So, but for my husband, at times when he's watching and I see that even when they are not there, they might be in their room, but anybody can come, like, just So for now, you just change it channel or station and switch to something else.
What's your take?
Yeah, so I feel social media has done a lot of harm to our young generation in a lot of ways. And when it comes to exposure, when it comes to sexual exposure and all that, it has exposed them too early than we really want as parents.
Yes.
And what Okiki said, we can't regulate what someone else is putting out there. You can't control but you can control what happens within your house to an extent.
Yeah.
Because if you say, control your child, I mean, my kids are in their late teens, so there's an age you can't almost regulate. But the most important thing is what you put into that child from the beginning.
Yeah.
How you train that child. There's the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Yes, some of them you train, they will not hear, or they will depart, because we have wayward kids. I mean, really, we have some people are armed robbers and they are all sorts, because they got trained and they didn't listen. But you do your own part and keep advising them in the right path. Keep talking to them about the pros and cons. Particularly, don't just say, no, don't do it. Let them know the why.
Exactly.
Let them know the reasons and let them know the harm it will do. Because curiosity, the young people are very curious and they want to know why. And if you just say, don't do it because I say so, then you leave more room for inquisitivity. They are now more inquisitive, like, no, you can't just say that. If you just say, because you go to hellfire, let's say, for example, and you say, any child that does this goes to hellfire, and like, why is God so cruel?
Exactly.
I mean, why is it? So you have to really say, I've always come from the aspect of the impact it has, the negative reasons, what you stand to lose in the future by going in this direction, and the hurt and the harm, So by the time you create and explain all the negative aspects, I mean, paint that picture that child sees it as, oh my goodness, this is a path I shouldn't even go. Even if we are tempted to go in that direction sometimes from friends, but that word you keep planting
in their minds.
We will maintain, and that's what that scripture actually means, that when they grow, they will not depart. And even if they depart, they tend to almost go astray. Something will bring them back in the future or any other time. So that is my take on that. But social media, I want to use this to appeal to our social media owners, maybe TikTok and Facebook, Snapchat, and all these social media things. Please help us regulate them a little bit so that there'll be sanity in the society. There's a lot of insane things going on. That's why predators use this different social media to also infiltrate and predate or pry. That's the word. Pry on our young people. You see a lot of pedophiles and so many things happening on social media, and that's why we have to still educate our young ones. This sex education is so important because where you see them playing Roblox and then all of a sudden they see a stranger talking to them, trying to pretend to be a child, whereas that person is a full-grown adult who is trying to look for a child that is going to sneak in on and deceive and lead astray. Also, people just start chatting on Snapchat, and our kids are always on all the social media platforms trying to chat and make friends online, because that's the world now today. We can't take it away, but we can try to regulate it. Because even if you try to say, don't use social media from 9 p.m. No screen time and all that. What do they do before the 9 p.m.? Between 7 p.m. I mean, it still happens. So I feel more than just the time restriction, it should actually be, what do you do? And because you follow them, you're on social media and everything, sometimes still not enough.
Yeah, you can never. That's what
Yeah. But you just do your best. And like, I really like what you said about explaining the whys, because we live in a generation where our kids are so analytical. We took things hook, line, and sinker. Don't follow that boy, you will go to hellfire.
Yes,
we
sir.
took it like that. Oh, don't do this will happen. But our kids this day will question it. They would ask, why would I go to hellfire? If he's a loving God, why does he do this? So, but if you explain it to them and say, okay, if you go out with, like, I would rather, so I remember when you said that you would say change the station, I would rather they watch it and I explain.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
I would rather, no, that's mine. I would rather they watch it.
At what age are we talking about?
Okay, so let me put a caveat to that. Like, if they are teenagers, like, let me go graphic now. Do you remember the film Bridgerton?
Yeah.
I know you don't watch films, but there was this movie, it was a series, Bridgerton, and it was supposed to be normal, old, British story, but epic story, but they had some explicit
season 1
scenes in it. So I would rather you watch it.
Why must they watch? Is it rated 18?
Yeah, you have to also look at the rating.
Yeah, no, I mean, if there are even the ones that are not rated 18 that it has explicit kissing scene. I would rather they watch it and I explain. Because this is why I'm saying this. When we were kids, at least myself, every time they do that, stay tuned, please, I was curious as to what was happening.
Well,
I really wanted to know. And even though people don't want to admit it, that curiosity can lead to so many other things. So I would rather you watch it and then I explain to you. Because I know that they are smart enough to understand it. Actually, remember the crush thing? Well, I won't go into that. But they understand it. So when you are thinking they don't know, they know.
Yeah.
So explain it and explain it the right way so that somebody won't skew their mind somewhere else.
Correct. You're actually correct.
That's
even though I won't say watch, it depends on how explicit, because there are some that they go stripped down to the
not that one.
Yeah,
that
there are some video. That's the Bridgerton you're talking about. There was a scene
unless you are a teenager,
so even if you're a teenager, even my son is going to be 20 in January. I'm not going to sit down and explain that kind of scene.
I will explain. No, don't explain. I will explain.
Fine. Well, let's get to. I understand. I'm not going to. I'll rather stop it and tell you why I don't want to continue watching that scene, because explain, and I'm watching it with you and we'll watch it to the very end of that scene. So I personally, I will not allow, I don't know if I will allow them watch it. For my experience till date, I change my station when it's becoming too explicit. If it's just kissing, I might still leave it because I have big teenage boys. Maybe they should be the one shining away and turning their faces.
Are you sure that when you're not there, they won't go back and watch it?
Because of other things I have told them. That's what I'm saying. I'm not leaving the aspect of telling them. I will explain, but I won't watch it to the end and then explain. I will take it off and I'll explain to you. And when you now secretly want to watch it, you remember that this is a scene my mom doesn't want me to watch. And you doing it will bring, hopefully, that guilt conscience not to make you continue to do it. It doesn't mean that we don't practice, we don't expose ourselves to one thing or the other in the past. Even as a child, there's some things we were not supposed to have looked at that we did. But that training, that home training that you got, because you are not just left to yourselves. The way we are bringing our kids up now, if you are very, very aware and you're self-conscious, it's very from a child that is just left to themselves. Because there are some kids that are just left to themselves. They didn't have anybody to advise them. And they just watch and do anything. Nobody corrected them. And when they got to a stage, even when you try to correct them, they feel like, why are you correcting me? And they even have started practicing what they see, because maybe it was already getting too late when the correction came. So, but the way we are training our kids with what we're even talking about now is that we are trying to train them early to know what is right and what is wrong. So even if I don't show them the whole scene, I've explained and I talk to them, and I think and I hope that it stays with them. And with my own kids that I know, by the grace of God, they have been following that path. Yeah, so that's just what I will say. But if you feel you want to view it with them,
I would.
If you have the courage, I don't have that courage.
If it's an older teen, I would watch it with the child and explain on the way.
Okay, so what would you explain, for example?
That is morally wrong.
That see what they are doing.
Yes,
now.
See how it looks like pleasure now, but the guilt that comes after and the consequences that comes after, you really don't want to go down that line.
Okay.
I would explain. I would explain, because curiosity kills the cat. I know myself.
Yeah.
If you block it, I want to go. That thing you say don't touch, that's the one I want to touch.
Mm-hmm.
So I would explain it whilst it's going. For an older kid or not, the young kid, kissing scene, it depends on how intense. It depends on how intense. So, but for me, that close your eyes or turn off the TV or change the channel,
it's not your thing.
No, it didn't work for me. I don't think that's the way to go.
I want to ask a question because I'm curious. Please, I want you to say something later, but I'm curious as to, so after you have watched that scene with your kid and you've explained it to them, oh, this is wrong, blah, blah, blah. Tomorrow you still watch another movie that has that scene and
no.
Watching.
No.
So what do you now do in another time? Because you've used the first video to make an illustration to that child. So subsequent movies, because there are a lot of it now.
If it's an older kid, if, like, again, I keep maintaining, if it's an older teenager, you best believe that they know.
No, they know, but does that mean they
so after you watched that first one, watch it.
Continue watching,
because the truth is, if I'm not there, you will watch. Am I lying? If you are not there, they will watch. So let all of us be watching it. That's my view. If it's an older teen, I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay. If it's a younger child, that's when I would say, okay, you have to. First of all, there's the R rating and everything that controls all of this thing. So if it's rated 18, I don't see why.
Even if it's PG, you have to make that's parental guidance.
Yeah, you have to say, okay, no, this is not for you
to guide your child.
Like the other day, again, it's back to this thing we're talking about, social media. My son was watching something that was kids friendly, and then all of a sudden, it cut to a commercial that they had lots of girls in bikini. I was like, okay, this advert is not for you. So things like that you will control. But if it's an older teen, by all means, watch.
No, adults in bikini. When you go to the lake here.
No, they were jiggling. Okay, the navels were jiggling. So I was like, no.
I'm dressing here is
so that's my view. So ladies, before I come to my ladies, our viewers, this has been a very steamy topic, very steamy. So we would like to hear your views on the different things we talked about. What do you think about sex education? Do you think there are other aspects of it that we missed, that we didn't talk about? Put it in the comment section and then we'll get back to you. Before we wrap up, I would like to hear final words from my ladies, starting from Ukiki.
Okay, yeah, I think there are different types of parenting style, and at times I won't say study your kind of child. Every child can never be the same, even from same parent. Study them and decide on what works for the family. Try different style approaches, and hopefully let's commit them to God and hope for the best.
Yes, I agree with Okiki, and let's train up these children in the right way, give them all the moral values, especially if you are from our side of the world, where our moral values says, do the right thing and keep yourself. So try to talk to your child about sex education as early as possible. Teach them the right thing they should do. And don't say just once or twice. From time to time, have time with them. Let them draw close to you and share their opinions with you. And be curious. Ask friendly questions that will make them open up to you.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, by the grace of God, they are brought up in the right way.
I will just add to that. No matter what your child shares with you, please don't use it to punish them. Don't use it at a later date and say, that's why you... Please don't do that, because you will lose them and they will probably never come back and confide stuff like that with you anymore. And whatever you're doing, commit it to God, like we've all said, and never feel that, oh, I'm a bad parent. We are all in this journey of parenting, learning as we go. And God will help us all. So from us here, bye for now. Bye.